Lone pair of electrons. We have studied covalent bonds. Covalent bonds can be classified into two different ways. The one way of classifying covalent bond is single covalent, double covalent, and triple covalent bond. The single covalent bond is a bond in which a single pair of electron is shared. Double covalent bond is a bond in which two pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms, and triple covalent bond means three pairs of electrons are shared. We can see the examples of single, double, and triple covalent bond. Single covalent bond is hydrogen, double covalent bond oxygen molecule, and triple covalent bond is nitrogen molecule. We have written the examples of each of them. And the another way of classifying covalent bonds is non-polar covalent bond and polar covalent bond. Non-polar covalent bond and polar covalent bond. So non-polar covalent bonds are the bonds in which electrons are shared equally. Means the shared pair of electrons is equally distributed between the two atoms, and polar covalent bonds are the bonds in which the shared pair of electrons is not shared equally. So the concept of lone pair of electron is present in polar covalent bonds only. So we have three examples here with us: ammonia, water, and hydrogen chloride, that is HCl. In three examples we are going to study the concept of lone pairs of electrons. Lone pairs of electrons means unshared pair of electrons. As in the example ammonia, we can see that ammonia is a covalent compound between nitrogen and hydrogen. So nitrogen has atomic number 7, it has electronic configuration 2,5. So it shares 3 electrons with the 3 hydrogen atoms. It have 5 electrons in the outermost shell, and out of which it shares 3 electrons with the 3 hydrogen atoms. So we can see in the diagram that nitrogen has shared 3 electrons, and one pair of electrons means 2 electrons are remaining in the outermost shell which are unshared. Such pair of electron is called as lone pair of electron. In case of ammonia, there is a single lone pair of electrons, means single unshared electron. In case of water, we know that water has a molecular formula H2O. Oxygen has 8 electrons in the oxygen has atomic number 8, and it has electronic configuration 2,6. It has 6 electrons in the outermost shell, out of which it shares 2 electrons with 2 hydrogen atoms, and 4 electrons are left, means 2 pairs of electrons are left. Therefore water molecule contains 2 lone pair of electron. And similarly in the hydrogen chloride HCl, we can see that chlorine, out of 7 outermost electrons of the chlorine, 3 pairs of electrons are unshared. So the chlorine have 6 unshared electrons, that is 3 lone pairs of electrons. These lone pair of electrons actually produce polarity, or these lone pair of electrons make the compound polar, as wherever the lone pair of electrons are present, on whichever atom the lone pair of electrons are present, becomes partially negatively charged, because it attracts the lone pair attracts the other electrons. Actually means wherever there is a lone pair, there is a polarity, negative polarity. Means you can see that in case of NH3, nitrogen is slightly negative charged, and 3 hydrogens are slightly partially positively charged. In case of water, oxygen is partially negatively charged, and 2 hydrogens are partially positively charged, as we can see in the diagram. Now we will see page number 32. On page number 32, they have shown us the formation of water molecule, which is an example of polar covalent compound. We have studied the formation of water molecule. Just see the orbital structure diagram first. In that orbital structure diagram, you can see one molecule of oxygen in the center, and on the left and right there are 2 hydrogen atoms. In the center there is an oxygen atom, and in the surrounding there are two hydrogen atoms, and oxygen requires two more electrons to complete its octet. Therefore it shares two electrons with the two hydrogen atoms and forms water molecule, which is shown besides it. You can also see the electron dot structure. You can also see the electron dot structure, which is shown above. Hydrogen is shown with one X and oxygen is shown with 6 dots, and what happens after sharing is shown in the diagram besides it. You can see that the structural diagram of water, there is a oxygen in the center and there are two hydrogen besides it, separated with a dash. So this is the formation of water molecule, and in the similar manner you can see the formation of ammonia. The formula for ammonia is NH3. You can do on your own. Now we will turn to page number 33. Page number 33 starts with the lone pair effect, or the discussion about the lone pair of electron, but we have already discussed about lone pair of electron. So we'll turn to the next topic, which is formation of hydronium ion and hydroxyl ion. So first of all we will see the formation of hydroxyl ion. See the second diagram. There are two diagrams. See second one of them, and I have also drawn it on another page. See this diagram. In this diagram you can easily see that there is a water molecule. We know how water molecule is formed, and water molecule contains two lone pairs of electrons, means two pairs of electrons which are not shared, which are present in the outermost shell, and this water molecule undergoes a change. This change is shown in the diagram. One of the hydrogen atoms, in water molecules there are two hydrogen atoms. One of the hydrogen atom gets separated from the water molecule. You can see that one hydrogen atom has got separated, leaving behind the shared electron. It already had its own electron, but it left it behind and it has got separated. Therefore the hydrogen ion which is formed due to this process is called as H plus ion. It is not complete hydrogen, it is hydrogen ion, because it has lost its electron. It do not have an electron now, it just have a proton, and therefore it has a positive charge, and the remaining part is O and H, but with that O and H there is a extra negative charge. From where this negative charge comes? We know that there are 9 protons in OH, 8 of oxygen and 1 of the hydrogen, but the number of electrons, if we count the number of electrons, the number of electrons are found to be 10. Therefore there is an extra electron with OH, and therefore in this way an OH radical or OH ion is OH minus ion is formed. Now we will see how hydronium ion or H3O plus ion is formed. Now see the diagram on page number 33. In this diagram you can see we are starting with the water molecule. Water molecule contains two lone pairs of electron, and now this time H plus ion means a hydrogen atom which has lost its electron. This H plus ion attacks one of the lone pair. And it shares both these electrons, means it gets attached with the water molecule, but the shared pairs of electron, both the electrons which are shared are from the oxygen only. Hydrogen do not have any electron, therefore it shares the electron, but both the electrons are from the oxygen. In this way it gets attached to the water molecule, but the species or the molecule form is bit different, because it have one oxygen and three hydrogen around it, but you can clearly see that the total charge on this molecule is 1 plus, because the total number of protons in this molecule are 11, whereas the total number of electrons present around it are only 10. Therefore there is an extra proton in the nucleus, and therefore the hydronium ion overall has a 1 plus charge. Such ions, hydronium ion, such ions which have positive or negative charge are called as radicals, and the bond present here is called as coordinate bond. The bond the bond between oxygen and first hydrogen is a covalent bond. The bond between oxygen and second hydrogen is also a covalent bond, but the bond between oxygen and the third hydrogen is a coordinate bond, because both the electrons which are shared are from the oxygen only. Such bonds are called as coordinate bonds. So we reiterate the definition of the coordinate bond. The coordinate bond is a bond which is formed by sharing of electrons, but the shared electrons are from a single atom. Then these bonds are called as coordinate bond. So up till now we have studied three types of bonds: ionic bond, covalent bond, and this coordinate bond. Ionic bonds are the bonds which are formed by the sharing of by donation and exception of electron. Covalent bonds are the bonds which are formed by the mutual sharing of the electron. And third is the coordinate bond. And in coordinate bonds, mutual sharing do not take place, or the bonds which are formed by sharing of electrons, but the electrons are from a single atom. Another example of coordinate bond is NH4 plus. In this on the lower half of the page you can see the formation of NH4 plus. In this compound you can see we are starting with the ammonia molecule, and ammonia molecule have one lone pair of electron, and this lone pair of electron is attached by H plus ion, and the formation of a coordinate bond between nitrogen and hydrogen takes place, and the formation of NH4 plus occurs. So we have finished all three types of bond. Now if we turn to the page number 34, there is a comparison between electrovalent or ionic compounds and covalent compounds. For that we will study we will take examples of the two compounds. Electrovalent compound is sodium chloride and covalent compound is methane. So by comparing sodium chloride and methane, we will study the differences between electrovalent and covalent compound. So the first point is state. Electrovalent compounds are always in the solid state, whereas covalent compounds are mostly found in liquid or gaseous state. For example, we have sodium chloride and methane. Sodium chloride is in the solid state and methane is in the gaseous state. The reason behind it is sodium chloride contains Na plus and Cl minus. In the diagram you can see that when many NaCl molecules come together, Cl minus present in one of the molecule will attract Na plus present in the surrounding molecule. At the same time, Na plus present in the NaCl molecule will attract another Cl minus ion present in the surrounding. In this way, there is a very strong electrostatic force between NaCl molecules, and therefore the molecules remain close to each other and they remain in the solid state. If you see methane, it is in the gaseous state because there are no charged particles. Neither one of them. Methane contains carbon and hydrogen, but neither of them is positive or negative. Therefore, there is no electrostatic force of attraction between the molecules of methane, and therefore it is in the gaseous state. Next point is volatility. Ionic compounds are non-volatile, whereas covalent compounds are volatile. Volatiles means they quickly get converted into gaseous state, or they quickly change their state. Next is melting and boiling point. Melting and boiling point of ionic compound is high, whereas melting and boiling points of the covalent compounds are on the lower side. The reason is same. Ionic compounds have electrostatic bonds which hold the molecules close together. Therefore, it is very difficult to melt them. It requires a large amount of heat energy to melt ionic compounds, whereas melting of covalent compound is easier, as there is not a strong force present to hold the molecules together. Next is conduction of heat. Ionic compounds are good conductors of heat, whereas covalent compounds are not good conductors of heat. Conduction of electricity. Ionic compounds are bad conductors of electricity, but in aqueous or liquid state they are good conductors of electricity, and covalent compounds are generally bad conductors of electricity. Next is electrolysis, but we will study about electrolysis in the chapter I think chapter 4 electrolysis only. Next is solubility. Ionic compounds are soluble in water, whereas covalent compounds are soluble in organic solvents. Next is reaction. The reactions of ionic compounds are quick. High speed reactions take place in the ionic compounds, and the reactions of covalent compounds are not that quick. Generally covalent reactions are slow. Ionic compounds undergo dissociation, whereas covalent compounds undergo ionization. We will study this part in the chapter number 4 electrolysis only. So we have finished with the chapter number 2. I will give exercise. I will give 3 different exercises about this chapter, and you have to solve these exercises. I will give exercises in the form of pictures, and I will send those on WhatsApp group. Thank you.